kicks it right corner. Harvey for three. Got it! Big shot for Tyler Harvey. His 8th three since the start of the fourth quarter.
Raus auf Harvey. Harvey passt. Ja.
Harvey se diže trica. Tyler Harvey.
To Harvey up top. He's going to jack up another three-pointer, and he hit another one! Unbelievable!
Hey everyone, Leslie Robbins here. I would like to officially welcome to the show Torrance's very own basketball star, Mr. Tyler Harvey. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Now, where are you exactly and how are you? We actually have a pandemic going on.
Yeah, so I'm currently in Seattle right now. My wife and I are staying up here. So yeah, I did visit California, I think about a month or so ago. But I'm doing well, all things considered, healthy, which is the main thing. And, just taking this whole coronavirus thing and pretty much everything day by day. So, but I'm doing well overall.
That's awesome. You are doing well. You now have a new job to add to your resume. You are headed to Australia to play down there. Congratulations on the big news.
Thank you. Yes, I'll be heading down to Australia within probably a month or so. Season was delayed because of COVID, obviously. So I think we start now. January 15th is the start date. So within a month or so, I'll probably be heading out that way.
You are the club's first import signing of the season.
Yep. So I was the first import to sign there. They're a great team. They got a great coach, great organization. I'm really looking forward to going out there. I've heard nothing but great things about the Australian League. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to get the season going, honestly.
Your journey, of course, recently took you to Germany, where they did their own bubble. Of course, the NBA here has their bubble, but you're an old pro at the bubble. Tell me what that experience was like playing for nobody except your coaches.
Yeah, the bubble was a unique experience. We were the first team to implement that whole bubble scheme. So nobody really knew what to expect. We were somewhat of the guinea pigs. Now, obviously, we weren't at the Disneyland resort where we have, many different activities and things like that. But we were in Munich for about 4 weeks. It was a good experience. They did a great job putting it on. You really don't have that many things to do. You're pretty much at basketball practice, a lot of time with your team, and then you play the game, playing in front of no fans. I mean, it was, once you get into the game, everything kind of, you kind of block that out. In the G League, we also didn't have a ton of fans, so you could say I was somewhat used to it. There were, a couple hundred, but not zero. But it was definitely a unique experience. The fans definitely add something to the games. Obviously, we had the best fans in Germany as well, so it's disappointing that we couldn't play in front of them. But overall, it was a good experience. You're just playing for yourself and for your team. I mean, that's all you guys have. The bench is all you have, and the other team knows your play calls. You know the other team's play calls because you can hear everything. So it was a good experience, and but hopefully we can bring back those fans.
So Tyler, I have to ask about the COVID testing. That never looks pretty. Did that go down in Germany?
It went down every 3 days in Germany. I definitely don't recommend getting the test. Obviously, if you have to, you have to. But I remember I couldn't sleep the night before I had to get the test. I don't know why. I've seen a lot of people getting videos of, that Q-tip up their nose, and I didn't think I was ready for it. But I had no other choice. So yeah, it definitely feels like it touched a little part of your brain. But it was something we had to do, and they're keeping us safe. So of course, you have to go on through it. But I hope I'm going to have to do it again probably when I get to Australia. So thanks for reminding me about that.
I was just going to ask you, what are the procedures down in Australia? Obviously, you have to get tested as well, but is it the swab up the nose part? Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to quarantine in a hotel for 2 weeks, so that'll be fun.
Well, you get to quarantine with your wife, so maybe binge watch TV. Is there anything you're binging right now?
We've been watching Schitt's Creek. That's been our show for the past month or so. So we'll probably save a couple episodes for that quarantine.
2 weeks is a long time. I think you'll need another show.
We'll find some more stuff, yeah.
What were you guys up to during the lockdown? Any new hobbies come up?
Yeah, so when we first came back, we didn't know when the German league was going to start because my league just kind of got cut off abruptly right when the NBA did. So we came back. We actually stayed in LA for a bit in Torrance with my parents for about a month or so, and then we went on back to Germany. But we've been golfing a lot. She's a great golfer, so I had to step my game up. I'm trying to beat her in golf. We've just really been doing that. I like to train kids as well on my downtime. I like to help kids get better, youth kids, just trying to help them instill good habits in them and, help them reach their goals in basketball as well. So I'll do that on the side and play tennis here and there. So we're trying to stay active as much as we can.
Of course, you are a 2011 Bishop Montgomery High School graduate, and you were the first student in school history to be drafted by the NBA.
Yeah, I didn't even know that fact. We've had a lot of talented guys come through Bishop, so I was pretty surprised at that as well.
There are a lot of talented guys that come out of that school. What do you think the secret sauce is to Bishop Montgomery that just pumps out stellar talent? And their coaches, of course, Noelle Quinn just won her second title as an associate head coach with Seattle, where you are right now.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I think it's the coaching. Coach Mitchell was a great coach for me. It's just the community part of Bishop Montgomery. It's a great place, to go to school, obviously, but, the basketball-wise, it's, the top-notch school, in my opinion, in the state of California. So, I was fortunate enough to play for a great coach, like I said, in Coach Mitchell. He just teaches us hard work and, life skills that carries on past high school. And I think that's also a big part of, why Bishop's so successful.
Now, talk about when you were back here in Torrance, born and raised. You told me you were born at Little Company of Mary Hospital. So what was it like growing up in Torrance and becoming a basketball star?
I love Torrance. Torrance was great. You got the beach right there. You have everything you need is in Torrance. So I'm definitely a Torrance kid. There's so many different schools you can go to as well in Torrance. But growing up, I felt that Bishop Montgomery, that's just where I just knew I was going to go there. Talking about our journey, it was just my journey led me there. And I didn't know it was going to come after Bishop Montgomery. I didn't think I was going to be a professional basketball player the rest of my life. But that's what was in store for me, and I was just trying to take basketball as far as I can. And obviously Bishop's great education as well. Everything just worked out, and I love being from Torrance. It's like I said, I think it's one of the best places in the South Bay.
Okay, you may not have thought you were going to be a pro basketball player, but many people did. I actually reached out to Andy Marafino, your former baseball coach. People may not know. You actually could have made either team, and you chose to go for basketball instead of baseball. And Andy had said to me he was just blown away by you because you actually confronted him face to face to say, hey, listen, thank you so much for having me here, but I'm going to go the basketball route, but I really appreciate your time.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even know Andy remember that story. I do remember trying out for baseball because I was like 5'4", maybe $115. Soaking wet out of the shower. So I was like, I might as well give baseball a shot. I played baseball. I'm a lefty. I pitch. So I was like, that might be my route. But it was just eating at me. I wanted to play basketball. I knew basketball was my passion. So I just went that route. And I remember going into the office. I was a bit nervous because, trials were just a week ago or something. And I was like, well, sorry, Andy, I think I'm gonna try to play basketball. And he was super nice. Me and Andy, we have a great relationship even to this day. He'll text me and check in on me. When I go back to Bishop, I always make sure I see Andy. Yeah, that's a funny story that he remembered that, though.
Well, he said so many wonderful stories about you, how you would kind of check in during your college days and give reports of what college life is like for the current high school students. And you didn't have to give up your time to do that.
Yeah, to me, that's nothing. If I was a student, of course I want to know what the next level is like. That's how you help the next generation coming up. So to me, it's not even a big deal. I love helping people, and I love helping people reach their dreams as well and seeing what it's like. Of course, I'm always open to help any way I could. That's what I do.
Well, listen, that has to come from somewhere, your good heart and how kind you are. You were probably raised that way, and it hasn't left you.
For sure. My parents raised me that way, to always be a good person, high character. At the end of the day, you never know who's watching. I try to make sure I take time and say hi to anybody. It could be the janitor. It could be anybody. You shouldn't judge anybody just because you're at this level and they're at that. It doesn't matter. So I try to treat everybody with respect, because that's how I want to be treated, with respect. My parents instilled that in me at a young age, and I've just tried to carry that throughout my life. It takes you a longer way when you appreciate people and you respect people and give them your time. And when you're talking to them, you're fully present with them and enjoying that conversation.
And you're married?
Yeah, I'm married. Yeah, I got married last year. She's been on that journey with me as well. So I got to give credit to her as well. Every day is not easy, when you're away from family and you're so far, you're halfway around the world. Without her, for sure, I don't know if I could, do what I do. I definitely need her by my side, experiencing this with me as well.
That's what it's all about, having a team around you, loved ones, family, friends that support you. I think that's part of the journey as well, right?
100%. You have to have a good team, and I definitely, I have a great team. I'm just thankful that I have that in my life.
Right out of Bishop, you went up to Eastern Washington. You were a star. Then you headed to the NBA. You were in the G League. You've played internationally. Now you're playing in Australia. What do you attribute all of this success to?
A lot of hard work goes into it. I take my craft very seriously. There's just a lot of things that go into playing basketball for this long. You got to take care of your body, obviously. You have to know the game. You have to study the game. But at the end of the day, you have to put in the work. And I knew that at a young age. And, Bishop Montgomery instilled that in me. You have to work hard, if you want to go places in life. That's just how I was raised as well. So I can accredit that just through my hard work and dedication, and also my faith. I know that God has a plan for me. I'm just trying to follow it out. And it's been quite the journey that I've been on. But, I enjoyed every second of it. Got to see many great places. I've got to play in great cities. So, I wouldn't trade my story in for anything.
You said the word journey. Your journey is not the typical A to B journey. You take twists and turns. You play on various teams, yet you still have the same goal in mind.
If you would have told me my journey 7 years ago would be this, I'd probably look at you and laugh. I mean, you just don't know what's in store for you. You got to take it one day at a time. That's all you can really do. And I just try to put my head down and grind. And things usually work itself out the way it's supposed to, and that's just been, my motto and how I've gotten to this point. So I just want to keep continuing to get better, and who knows what's next.
Your mental game is really, really strong. Where does that come from?
So I got into meditation and the whole mental side of the game when I was actually overseas for my first year. I had a lot of alone time. Once you're overseas, you have, 2 practices a day, but after that, you have a lot of time by yourself. So I really just got into the psychology of basketball and the mind and how the mind works. And it intrigued me. I think it's a big part of why I've been, somewhat successful in my life is, you got to take the highs with the lows. You can't get too excited. You can't be too down on yourself as well. So I try to stay just that even kill mentality and, not try to let anything rattle me too much.
So what kind of advice would you pass on to student athletes that want to succeed just like you are?
Sometimes things aren't going to happen the way you planned it to happen. I mean, there's countless times where I thought something would go one way and it just doesn't. But you have to learn to roll with the punches and just to realize that everything that's happening is happening for a reason, and you just got to fight through it and figure out why things happen the way they are. I mean, the journey, I'm still on my journey. I mean, it's never ending. So you have to really enjoy that. You're going to go through every emotion trying to reach your goal. So you just have to be prepared to try to stay even keel with it and to take things as they come, but just don't give up on it, though. I mean, usually people give up right before their breakthrough. I just tell people to just keep going and just to work hard. I mean, that's it. Work hard, treat everybody with respect, and sky's the limit, honestly.
And, of course, you're heading to Australia, so that's the next goal, and that's happening.
That is.
Do you want to talk about any future goals after that, or you're content with where things are right now?
My goal is always to play in the NBA. Obviously, that's been my goal since I've been a kid. But this next step is Australia, so of course I put all my time and energy into being the best player and the best version of myself that I can be for that. But the end goal, of course, I want to play in the NBA. But like I said, it's a journey, and I don't know what's in store for me. But I do work hard every day to try to achieve that goal. But I am very thankful, and I'm ready to go to Australia and tackle that.
Well, speaking of the NBA, so when the Orlando Magic selected you in the second round of the NBA draft in 2015, where were you, who was around you, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, so I was at my dad's house. We had a little party, and, usually they tell you not to throw a party. They're like, oh, you might not get picked. And for us, it was just a blessing to even have, a possibility of getting drafted. So, honestly, when I heard my name, it was kind of like a blackout feeling. It's pretty surreal. You're kind of just in outer space for a second because you don't know really what's going on. But I had a lot of my family, my friends around, and it was great to have everybody share that moment because they all had a part of that. It's not just me. You can't do great things by yourself. You need that support, and I was very thankful to have, the ones closest to me by my side during that time.
Well, then I foresee another phone call like that in your future. It can't not happen, right?
I hope so. I hope so.
Well, I wish you all the best in Australia and beyond, and best of luck on your journey. Thank you for being
Thanks,
here.
Leslie. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.